everybody, World Avengers here on Mr. Fluffy... Oh, wait, sorry.
On Mr. Fluffy Bottom. I'm a necromancer.
Why have we done so many videos together, right, where you're a Mr. Fluffy Bottom? Is it just that I remember Mr.
I think
Fluffy
it's just
Bottom
that,
so much
I think
more
I only
because
did
of the voice?
one video with you on Mr. Fluffy Bottom.
No way!
Maybe two. And what are we doing today? We're doing a Boot's Bad build.
Alright, what have you got with me for Necromancer?
Okay.
I'm saying this for appearances. Go ahead.
Yeah, I know you're saying this. You know all about this. There's problems with Necromancer because there are...
It's just too good.
What?
It's just too good. There's no way to build a bad Necromancer, right?
No, there are many ways to build a bad Necromancer. But it's too clearly defined what... there are good Necromancer builds. There are like several good Necromancer builds, and they range through basically all the types of builds you could possibly get for Necromancer, except one. So you have your Power Necromancer, very straightforward. You have your Condi Necromancer Burst, which is also very straightforward. You'll use Terror most likely, and sometimes use Doomfire, but it's pretty. It's one or two. And then, is there anything else besides that?
There's MM, which can work actually even in PvP.
Yeah, MM. It's a very strong build. Very kind of like Turd NG, kind of easy to play. But there's one thing left in necromancing that nobody uses, and I don't know why. It's just fantastic.
Okay.
And that thing is life stealing.
Vampirism, baby.
Vampirism. You look like quite the vampire.
Thank you, man. Look, this is one of the first times I've tried to, I've been like, alright, I want this character to look like something. I'm going for it, and I managed to pull it off.
You did well. Do I look like a good vampire, too?
You look huggable. I don't know whether that's really
the
kind of trait. A huggable vampire.
That's I know you... Well, I can't even do the voice anymore.
You need to do Mr. Fluffy Bottom's voice as also a Transylvanian.
Okay, I have to remember what his voice was, though. Well, hold on a second.
It's like Barney the dinosaur's voice, bro.
Hi, guys.
Okay, that's kind of it.
Okay.
Transylvanian.
I want to suck your blood. I lull you into a false sense of security by looking so cute, and you come to hug me, and then I suck your blood, and...
Wow. Okay, so is that what we're doing in this episode? We're sucking blood.
Exactly. And
Okay.
So I've gone through so many iterations of a build that'll suck people's bloods, and none of them are that great.
Well, okay, I'm going to say this right away. I have a vampirism build, and I think it's awesome, and it's super fun, and it's pretty much a below average build, but it's still pretty cool.
Oh.
So I'm going to judge the head out of your bad build here.
Fine, but I would like to say that I have two vampirism builds that I would like to show off before you show off yours.
Okay, alright, cool. Alright.
Number one, the perfect thing for healing for lifesteal would be power and healing power in there somewhere.
Absolutely.
Because lifesteal is affected by your power, and the healing that you get is affected by your healing power.
You're right, yes. This is kind of one of those weird mechanics, actually, that if you try and make a build around, you kind of gonna go on Wiki and actually find out how it works. Like, in the first game, lifesteal was like, it just ignored everything. Everything was ignored. It was like, if they were immune to damage or whatever, you'd still be life-stealing from them. It would just cut through everything, and it was always that flat amount. It would flat amount steal, and then it would flat amount heal you, and that was it. They didn't scale differently. But it's really complicated here, so how's exactly it work?
Well,
Explain to
so
people?
yeah, there's a flat amount and a flat amount, but then, of course, like Condi damage, like anything else, it'll scale up slowly based on what your power is and what your healing power is. So the power, the damage it does component is affected by your power, and the healing component is affected by your healing power. It cannot crit, so critical damage doesn't do anything. Ferocity doesn't do anything. But there is a trait that I'm using in this build that I'm going to show you that does like crits. There's vampiric precision here. So here's my first build. I'm going to go right into it.
So what are you saying to me? This is some kind of a bunky spec?
It's pretty bunky.
This is going to get annihilated.
It's pretty bunky.
It has nothing in the way of like hard mitigation.
It's pretty bunky. Come look. Look, I'll bunk things.
Oh my god. You're gonna bunk Svanir or the chieftain.
No,
it's not a good example,
these guys,
no.
Two of these guys together.
I mean, it's just so bad. Both signets, I think, are pretty much terrible for PvP. No one's going to have low enough DPS, even if you have toughness in your armor, for that passive of the signet.
That's not true. There's a lot that has low DPS.
Oh my... I cannot see this ever being a thing under the current meta at all for PvP.
It's so
like,
bunky
whatsoever.
him. Look how bunky bunk. Oh shoot. Being a MOA sucks.
Okay, basically what you've got here is a minion build.
It is a minion build, but it's a life siphoning minion build.
No, that's all minion builds. They run that.
Yeah.
That's a minion build.
But
It's vampirism. You're not even being a vampire yourself here.
but
Oh my god.
Can I just give one more build out there?
All right. Okay, let's do it.
Okay. Last but not least, take on here. Put it on this. That's fine. Okay. You can take it out of this. And go all the way into spite.
Okay, wait. I'm going what? 6 spike.
6 spite. And you're gonna
Okay.
take parasitic contagion.
Parasitic contagion. Oh, I actually looked at this. Yes. Okay.
Parasitic
all right.
contagion. And then you're gonna go. Number 4 is training of the master.
Do you want to explain to what parasitic contagion is?
Parasitic contagion heals you for 5% of all the condition damage you do. So let's say you got 10 stack of bleeds on something and you're doing 1,000 damage a tick every second. You're getting 50 health back every second. And then what you're going to have for this, instead of your cleric amulet, is you're going to run a settler's amulet.
Settler's amulet. Okay, so you get the condition damage in there, still with the heal power.
Healing power and toughness this time. Because your power isn't going to affect your minions' damage that much.
Okay.
And your minions are basically going to be doing all the power damage, and you're going to be doing condition damage to things. At the same time, healing up from your minions, healing up from the conditions, and you're at quite a bit of toughness from this amulet, which means that your signet of vampirism is going to be used to its full effect.
I like the thought of running a build. This really isn't a vampire build. This is just a way of tanking, I guess, or something on a necro. But I love the idea of running, what's it called? Unholy Sanctuary and Parasitic Contagion. You know?
Yeah.
So you're just getting all this... You go into Death Shroud, everyone's condied up somehow, and you're just getting all this insane healing coming in all of them.
It doesn't heal you.
Well, does it heal your Death Shroud buff?
It does not.
Ah.
Yeah, Death Shroud is weird in a way. That's why none of my builds have been focused around Death Shroud, because I could have gone, let's say, the precision vampirism thing where you get healing on critical hits,
Which is what I run, yeah.
and then I was like, oh, critical hits, might as well go 6 into Soul Reaping and pick up the 50% extra crit chance while you're Death Perception while you're in Death Shroud. Except there's no point to that because you don't actually heal while you're in Death Shroud. So you're saying Parasitic Contagion isn't very good?
I think it's a terrible trait, to be honest with you.
It's bad for Grandmaster, it's true. 5% is way too low.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very, very low.
So you just ripped apart all three of my attempts.
The other big thing here, obviously, is if you're that far in Spite, which is a line that's not giving you Condi damage anyway, on a Condi build, Doomfire is there. Like, it's insane to pick up Parasitic Contagion.
But Doomfire doesn't heal you.
I know.
Okay, so basically, you have a better build, you say?
I believe I have the best way you can be a vampire necro ever. And this is the way I would build it. It is not a PvP build, so we're not going to look at it in Heart of the Mist.
Alright, Arachnia, show me your things.
Alright, so the build I've got, alright, it absolutely doesn't work in PvP. I don't think it will ever have a role in PvP, and half the stuff doesn't even function in PvP. Okay, so the traits are 3 into Spite, Okay.
3 to get healing power based on your power. Okay.
Yeah, okay, so this build's going to have a lot of... First of all, the stats it's running is a stat set, as Boott said, that doesn't actually exist in PvP. I'll ping it in party. This is Zealot's stuff. Be warned, Zealot stuff's pretty expensive, but I'm running full Zealot's trinkets and then Zealot's weapons
Oh wow,
as
it's
well.
power main stat.
Yes, and this is power main stat, so when you're life siphoning, it's the siphoning that's doing a fair amount of damage. It's got healing power on there so that you're actually getting decent benefit out of the siphon when it comes in on you. These are the 2 stats we want. And it's got precision on there, which is incredibly important because of the trait Boots was talking about earlier, vampiric precision, which will siphon health every time you crit. So you want to be critting tons.
Yeah, this is way better than this tech combination is way better than for vampire than anything in PvP.
Yeah, this is the perfect stat set for vampire. If vampire ever works, it's through Zealot.
See, had I known this stats that existed, I would have made way different builds.
Yeah, it's just very expensive. It sucks. It's the clockwork stuff, the watchwork stuff, and my god.
Oh my god.
Alright, so in Spite we've got Death into Life for the healing power into power, so you get even more conversion there. The slot 1, now you took Signet Mastery. Now I do also use Signet of the Locust, and this is a pretty boring slot that it's like, what do we run? I did for a while run Signet Mastery, but actually I found Death's Embrace, deal 50% more damage while downed, is an incredible trait. Because when you're in down states, the skill 1 is Siphoning Life. And it's very potent when you have this stat set and when you have a bunch of traits that make it even more powerful.
Why does it say healing 0 on it?
Maybe it used to increase the healing you got from the siphoning on the skill 1 or something once upon a time, but now it's got that. But it still says healing 0 for me, even though I've got healing power. So yeah, that part I guess doesn't do anything. But so what I found was when I was running this build in World vs World, like 1v1ing people randomly and occasionally actually winning. As I say, I think it's still like less than a mediocre build, but it's really fun. I actually would find that I would kill people in the down state, purely in down state. It's actually appeared in a few videos, just because I'm healing so much and chunking them so much. As soon as I put on Death's Embrace, I win like 90% of my down state fights.
Wow.
I don't kill them particularly quickly, but I can take someone from 100 to 0 and they cannot out DPS me at all. I'm just there siphoning. So Spite is really, really cool, and it really fits the vampire theme.
Yeah.
Moving into curses, I've gone 5 into curses, which gives me
increased damage for each condition on foe.
Okay, now the main reason I've gone this, though, is because I get precision from going this deep in, and precision's incredibly important. And I do have condition damage because of the original minor, which puts bleeds out. And because this build does so many quick little hits and crits so frequently, you do tend to get quite a lot of bleeding, and so that counts for a tiny little bit more, I guess.
Okay.
Then I've got Banshee's Wail in the Master slot. Banshee's Wail is awesome because it reduces the recharge on Warhorn skills and increases their durations. So now when I Locust Swarm, I don't get 10 impacts, I get 15 impacts. It lasts way longer, and so this is all much more juicy.
So how long is the cooldown on it?
It's a 24-second cooldown with 15-second duration.
Okay,
so
that's fantastic.
It's got pretty good upkeep, yeah. And then, of course, in the first slot, I've got Reaper's Precision. You have a chance to gain life force on critical hits, so that when I do finally get low, I can actually, actually.
But how often do you go into, like, what do you use in your Death Shroud?
In Death Shroud, I'll use it if I'm like 1v1ing people. I'll tap into it quite frequently just to fear people away and put the Torment on them. Very little else. I won't really use the skill 4, though that can make you survive for a while. The main time I'll go in there is when I get very, very low on health and I want to like be able to reset somehow. Death Shroud, though, in this build is pretty much useless, and it's one of the... It's not useless, it's just really boring and it's not very good. Like, the dream would be I could be low on health, pop Locust Swarm, go into Death Shroud, and then get all these lots of quick hits that are actually healing my real health, but that doesn't happen, so that kind of sucks.
Okay, so I have something to say about that, but I'll wait to the end.
Oh, you can say it now. You can say it now.
No, we're doing
reverse bad
potatoes
builds.
bad builds. Potatoes
Okay.
putrid pills.
Okay. So yeah, I run with that, but it's mostly because there's nothing else in the set.
Oh,
you could take
okay.
focus.
Sure.
Well, I don't know. Maybe Enfeeble would be quite good. You can take what you want there. It's not really very important.
Okay.
Death Magic, I don't run anything in. I find Death Magic pretty useless.
Fine.
And then, of course, the final 6 points are Blood Magic, because Blood Magic is awesome. And I actually run the 3 traits you talked about on your first variant, which I think are really strong. Bloodthirst, we siphon more effectively. We've got the minor, we siphon every time we hit someone. We've got the vampiric precision, we siphon whenever we crit. And vampiric rituals, well, siphon. So that's the traits. Then for food, because of course we're not in PvP, we get to run this.
Yeah.
I run with precision stones, so that I get a bunch. Not stones, sorry. Maintenance oils, so I get a bunch more precision there. And then I run candied dragon roll, which is even more precision and a 66% chance to steal life on a crit.
Oh.
So that's pretty cool. And
How was the cooldown on that?
it has no internal cooldown. I'm pretty sure it has no internal
I don't.
cooldown.
That can't be
or
right.
it might be like,
Let's look it up on the wiki.
It might be like 5 seconds. No, I'm pretty sure it doesn't have an internal
Look
cooldown.
it up on the wiki.
Has an internal cooldown of 1 second.
Okay,
right?
still that's pretty good.
Yes, it is pretty good. Okay. Won't scale with your other stuff. All right.
Fair enough.
But apparently it does scale with the medic bonus you get from World vs. World, which is kind of interesting. All right. Anyway, the last little component is if you have a look at my weapons there, I've got the sigil of blood on my dagger.
I saw it. Yeah.
And so this steals health 50% of the time. So to demonstrate how many hits of damage you get here,
I have a question.
If I drop, oh, go ahead.
Why sigil of blood? Oh, I guess because you might not switch your weapons every 10 seconds.
Yeah, well, no, I'll explain the weapon the weapon swapping in a second.
Okay.
Because this is where it gets really good. But to demonstrate the amount, or what this build's really fun for is it does like a bazillion little ticks of damage. So if I drop a Well of Suffering and it crits, okay, I can steal health with my food. That's one number. The flat damage of the well is another number. I can steal damage with the sigil is a third number. Then I will steal health because of the 15 point. That's 4 numbers from a single tick on the well. Then because it crit, I have a 66% chance for it also to steal health again. So that's 5 ticks of damage on a single target on a single hit of the well, which itself is then going to pulse 6 times. While this is going on, I also have a Locust Swarm rolling, and I have an incredibly fast Dagger auto attack rolling. So your screen just fills up with an insane number of numbers. Here is the cherry on top of all of it. If you're running this in World vs. World, and you're in outnumbered fights, okay, the wells, everything I just described about the wells for the healing, it's the same as the Signet of the Locust Boots was talking about earlier, where you can get like a 10k heal if you ticket AoE. The wells are the same, so a single well does like insane AoE healing coming in on you and
why is that?
Sapping. Because you've taken the Grand Master that makes the wells siphon life.
So they siphon life, that's 70, let's say, plus critical...
It is, the healing coming in on me is 68 per tick.
68 plus 50 from critical, plus 40 from hit. So that would be about 150, 160 total.
On one target. So if you did that across 5 targets...
That would be 600 and something. 600.
Each tick. And you can have more than one well rolling. You can have the Well of Blood rolling,
800.
which itself is pulsing a heal on you as well. 600 heal. But here's the amazing thing, all right? If you're outnumbered, if you're really low, you drop your 5, you drop a couple of wells... And then, because you are a Sylvari, you invuln, and it heals the crap out of you while you're invulning. You're back up at 100% health. And in a 1v1, by the way, these seed turrets also are ticking tons of little numbers on people.
No way.
So you just get all these
count?
fantastic, crazy numbers.
Huh, so that's your... Wow.
Boom. Cherry on top. Vampire build.
That is...
amazing.
Yeah, this is... I mean, as a Sylvari, this is way better than summon Flesh Golem, let's say.
And running Flesh Golem or something, right? Like, oh my god. I love it, dude.
Oh,
So
yeah,
good.
yeah. Okay, and hold on a second, though. So this is why it's
Take
bad.
offense to the axe. Okay. All right.
Number one, you said yourself your Death Shroud is useless.
Yeah,
pretty
that's
much.
true.
So I would say Reaper's Precision is not worth it. You already said that you're getting tons of life force from your dagger attack.
Yeah, that's true.
So I would just take that off entirely and go for something that at least gives you some kind of anything else.
What, take the dagger off?
No. Take off Reaper's Precision. The
Reaper's Precision?
the number one the first one in curses.
Oh, okay, yes. Okay, absolutely. Yeah, I can agree. I can agree with that.
Okay, and
yeah.
maybe go Enfeeble to make them weak, which is very good for you.
Yeah, I agree. That is probably an improvement to the build.
Oh, well, let's use ground targeting. How about that?
I mean, yeah, it can. I guess this could be a bit better for like if you were roaming around in World vs. World. And
It'd be way better, and also because of the fact that like, who in their right mind stays in people's wells?
When people who get bloodthirsty and see that you're on 1k health, and then you drop the double well and you go invuln, and they don't expect it from a necromancer. Those people. Those are the people.
Those are the people, yeah. But they're gonna know, like, you're only running dagger. What's gonna happen is they're gonna stay away from you, right? They're gonna.
Well, the dagger also very importantly has an emobe, which is another reason I don't want to swap
but it only
out
has
of it.
one emobe, and it's very short ranged. So if you're running maybe axe, you have a little bit more range. That's better in that case. But with just the dagger, they're gonna kite you, and if they're kiting you, they're gonna be staying out of your wells. So you might as well. Get it?
Okay.
You might as well run the wells use ground targeting, so you could position a well behind them and attack them from the front.
Okay, all right. I understand your thinking there.
Yeah. Besides that, I honestly I think everything else about it is as good as you could get for a vampire build.
Which isn't very good. Again, like
it sounds pretty effective. It sounds like something I want to use. I'm gonna make some of that Zealot's armor. I had no idea that existed. That is so much better.
It's awesome. Yeah, it's like the perfect set.
I wish that was in PvP. That would be so much better.
Oh, I never talked about my runes as well, by the way. So the runes are
Vampirism?
Vampirism runes, obviously, because you get power. I don't really need any more precision. I could go to 100% crit chance if I change them to that. But come on, it's got to be vampirism runes.
Did you really go vampirism runes?
Yeah, I did. Yeah. Look at what's on. So if I like pop a heal skill, I get a chance to sap more life. I get it's cool. It's cool.
What does Root of Vampirism do again? Can you ping it?
Oh, yeah, and another great thing.
Ping Root of Vampirism.
Sorry?
Ping Root of Vampirism.
Ping. Okay, so the T6, again for World vs. World, because it's so tanky and attritive, you always proc that tier 6. You become mist. You go invuln anyway when you get to low health. And again, if you've got a well down, if you've got Locust Swarm down, you can, again, you regen all this health. And then you can chain from a Vampirism T6 into a Take Root. The other awesome thing about Death Shroud is when you're in mist, from that, you can use your Death Shroud ability. So you can tap into Death Shroud, and while invulnerable, use the Death Shroud 4 and 5 and fear people and do whatever the hell you want.
Yeah, you gotta use vampirism, that's right. Question though, so does that mean that you have to make sure you time when you're using your wells before you hit 20% health?
No, I don't. I just go YOLO ham and I drop wells really quickly. I just emote people and then drop wells on them instantly.
Okay. And
I'm sure I could play it a little bit better.
And you said your healing skill, I guess, is consume conditions?
No, I run the Well of Blood because vampirism, bro.
Oh, and
it's
wells.
got to be vampirism.
Good point.
Yeah, it's another well.
Okay.
So I siphon life, and then it also heals me flat for a whole ton as well.
I like it. I like it a lot. I don't know if I like it more than I like it more than my bills. What am I talking about?
Oh yeah, high five.
I do, high five. There should be a
You're
high
way
five
more
emote.
forgiving.
Why is there not a high five emote?
We can pretend. Look, this is where we saw people role playing, right?
There we go. Mr.
Yay! Alright, you put more effort in than I did.
I sure did.